My name is Jonathan Fernando and I'm from Sri Lanka. In 2007, I came to America after winning the green card lottery. It was a victory my people back home called lucky, but to me it was a bittersweet stroke of fate. I left behind my wife and 2 kids, my world, to venture into an unknown land for financial stability. The journey took me to Crowley, Louisiana, where I stayed in a massive 3-story house my friend had purchased from a local farmer. The house was more mansion than home, sprawling with 12 rooms and 3 bathrooms, each floor an echo chamber of creaks and groans. It was surrounded by eerie sights, an endless forest to the rear, and an abandoned building in its heart. My friend lived alone here before I came. Why he bought such a vast property I could never fathom. I moved in, grateful for the accommodation. Little did I know this house carried secrets, a chilling legacy of whispers in the dark. It was 3 days before Christmas. My friend had traveled to New York for business, leaving me alone in the cavernous house. I returned from work at dusk. The sun had dipped below the horizon, and a cold stillness blanketed the area. I unlocked the gate and stepped into the yard, hearing the low mooing of a cow from the neighboring farm. As soon as I opened the door, an overpowering stench hit me, vile and rotten like a decaying animal. I gagged, covering my nose with my hand. "Oh my God, what is that smell?" I muttered aloud. Grabbing a bottle of perfume from the downstairs bathroom, I sprayed every corner of the lower floor until the stench receded to a tolerable level. Dinner was simple, an omelette and bread I bought from Walmart. By 7:30 p.m. I was upstairs ready to sleep. My room was on the 2nd floor, and I clung to the photo of my family, my only comfort in this unfamiliar house. The night deepened, and silence pressed in. A sharp sound jolted me awake. My heart pounded as I realized it was the TV blaring downstairs. It wasn't just static or white noise. No, it was playing a carol. The melody sounded ancient, haunting, and uncomfortably loud. I turned on my bedside lamp and hesitated. Who could have turned it on? My voice barely broke the stillness. Forcing myself out of bed, I grabbed a flashlight and crept down the stairs. The lower floor was pitch black, the only light coming from the flickering TV. Step by step, I approached the living room, my breath visible in the freezing air. As I reached the TV, I saw it was broadcasting a grainy video of people singing a carol, faces blurred, their mouths moving unnaturally slow. The sound chilled me to the bone. "This isn't right," I whispered. My hand trembled as I turned the TV off. I retreated to the kitchen, poured a glass of water, and drank it in shaky gulps. Just my imagination, I told myself. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. I climbed the stairs again, exhausted and unnerved. Just as I reached the door to my room, a loud thud echoed from above. My pulse quickened. "What was that?" I muttered. Could it be an animal? Grabbing an iron rod near the door, I cautiously ascended to the 3rd floor. The temperature dropped sharply, and the air felt heavy and suffocating. "Hello." My voice was barely more than a whisper. "Is anyone there?" Nothing. The moonlight streamed through the windows, illuminating the long hallway. I scanned the area, my eyes darting to every shadow. There was no sign of anything out of place. Must have been the wind, I rationalized, turning to head back downstairs. And then I heard it.
"Hello, Jonathan."
The voice was low and raspy, like an old woman speaking directly into my ear. My heart nearly stopped. I spun around, clutching the rod tightly. "Who's there?" I shouted, my voice cracking with fear. The window at the far end of the hall slammed open. A gust of icy wind tore through the space, whipping my hair and freezing me in place. Panic overtook me, and I bolted downstairs, locking myself in my room. I sat on the bed, trembling, clutching the iron rod like it was my lifeline. The house was silent again. The sound came from my door. My blood ran cold. "Who's there?" I called out, my voice barely audible. No answer. The knocking continued, deliberate and slow. My breathing quickened, and I began to pray. "God, please help me, protect me." The knocking stopped. I heard footsteps outside the door, faint but unmistakable. They moved away, descending the stairs. Then came the unmistakable creak of the front door opening. I peered through the window, my hands trembling. There, in the yard, stood a woman. Her face was pale, her eyes fixed on my window. She didn't move, just stared. And then the voice came again, soft and chilling.
"Hello, Jonathan."
I screamed. The world went black. Sunlight streaming through my window woke me. My head throbbed and my stomach churned. The events of the night before played in my mind like a nightmare, but the lingering fear told me it was real. I tried to eat breakfast but ended up vomiting it all. My tongue felt sour and my appetite was gone. I called Uncle Michael, the farmer next door, and recounted the ordeal. He listened silently before speaking in a grave tone. "Son, let's go to church this evening. We need God's blessing." I agreed without hesitation. At church, the parish father listened to my story. He prayed over me and Uncle Michael, sprinkled us with holy water. "My child," he said, "there are things in this world beyond our understanding. Trust in God's protection." He handed me a vial of holy water and a small cross. That night, I slept, clutching the cross, my prayers fervent. The house didn't relent. Over the following months, strange occurrences became a routine. The TV turned on at odd hours, faucets ran on their own, doors opened and slammed shut. But I endured, armed with faith and the knowledge that not all things in this world can be seen or understood. Even now, I say a prayer before bed every night, hoping for peace in a house that seems alive with the unseen. And I believe one thing with all my heart. A lot is going on in this world that we can't see. If you enjoyed this horror story, don't forget to subscribe to Sathan's Time for more horror stories. Do you dare to click that button?